niggas out there know you told that I ain't like we legit. Think I'm pussy, catch you at that red light, melt your weed. They must knew I was gonna take it. They won't give a nigga shit.
That's what this is about in the city that everybody's here feeding off the energy, man.
You're not a New York Knicks fan. What did we just experience? What did we?
Congratulations to the Knicks, man.
It's over. The New
They
York
deserve
Knicks
it.
are officially the champions of the NBA. 53 years, the
Dang.
longest wait in this league, just died. And I still can't believe the road that they took to get here. The last time this franchise won it all was 1973. Richard Nixon was the president of the United States.
Nixon,
Jalen
bro,
Brunson
God,
wouldn't be born for
wow.
another 23 years. And his dad, Rick Brunson, who's currently sitting on the New York Knicks bench right now as an assistant coach, was 1 year old for it.
What? Bro, I'm not gonna lie. That's legendary. Bro, to see your son winning the chip, that's legendary.
That was the 5th longest drought in the NBA. And now that they hung this banner, the game everybody's gonna tell their kids about already happened. Game 4, the Spurs walked into Madison Square Garden and led this team by 29 points in the NBA Finals. And the Knicks won the game 107-106. The
Biggest choke of all time.
NBA Finals history. They led during this game for less than a minute. The old record was 24, set by the 2008 Celtics against Kobe's Lakers, and it stood for 18 years. And as a Los Angeles Lakers fan, I want to thank the New York Knicks for breaking this. But the Knicks didn't just break it, they beat it by 5. So I'm going to take you inside that whole collapse in a few minutes, because the final 2 minutes of that night might haunt San Antonio for a decade, especially given the fact that Victor Wembanyama isn't necessarily known for letting things go, as evidenced by his beef with Chet Holmgren, which started from a 2021 FIBA championship game where Chet defeated Wemby. But the wildest part is that New York was never supposed to win this thing. The Spurs won 62 games this season. The Knicks won 53. San Antonio has the consensus best young player on the planet. But how the Knicks got here
The New
is
York
a
Knicks were the
way better
underdogs.
story than what the confetti's gonna tell you. This is a team that fired the coach who got them closer than they've been in a quarter century. A team built by a former super agent who basically drafted his own client list into a contender. And that 7'5" alien on the other side, the Knicks wrote the blueprint on how to break him, and then nearly got buried by him anyway. So stick with me as I take you through all of this, how the New York Knicks got here, what the Spurs future is going to look like, and what makes this the greatest story in all of sports. Before we get to the content, I just want to give a brief shout out to my pop culture channel. Over there you'll see some stories that I probably wouldn't cover on my Flight Mike channel, such as when Donald Trump started dissing Stephen A. Smith and their beef. If you're into those types of stories, I'm going to leave a link to it in the description down below and pinned in the comment section and our latest video in the end screen. And now that we get all that out of the way, let's get to today's video.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, I brought ads. I don't care. I don't care about your AI bullshit, man.
GoDaddy is the daddy of
I
domains.
swear, bro. I'm about to literally take ads off my phone and throw it up. Trash.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Let's start with the man that put together this team, Leon Rose. Before Leon Rose ran the Knicks, Rose was one of the most powerful agents in the sport, a CAA super agent. And when New York handed him the front office in 2020, he ran it like an agent. Zero sentiment, all leverage. The whole thing starts with Jalen Brunson. I'm sure if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan, you absolutely hate this story. But to summarize it, Dallas let him walk in 2022, and the Knicks gave him 4 years and $104 million. A deal that
Dallas
people
is
flat
so
out
dumb for
laughed
that,
at.
bro.
First round pick away, and for what? To go
Y'all should
all
be
in
ashamed of
on
yourself.
clearing cap space in hopes of signing.
And y'all let Luka
The Knicks
go,
are acting
bro.
like he's KD. I'm gonna repeat.
Oh my God.
Jalen Brunson.
It's an awful lot.
Oh my God, bro. I can't believe they traded Brunson and Luka, bro. Dallas is just an L. The Mavericks are just an L, bro. Oh my God. Disgraceful organization.
Jalen Brunson's a fine player. Bill Simmons put it perfectly when he called it the saddest sweepstakes ever. Is Jalen Brunson one of the 10 best point guards in basketball? Maybe he's 10th.
I mean, do we think Brunson is a guy that is going to bring them to a second-round playoff series? He's not.
At the time, people were laughing at
doubted,
the fact
bro.
that Jalen Brunson never made an all-star team.
And listen, bro, that's a lesson learned, bro. When people doubt you, don't doubt yourself. Keep going, keep pushing, and prove them niggas wrong, bro. Real shit.
ESPN would later call it one of the best value contracts in the entire league. But this isn't the craziest deal that Leon Rose would make. As a matter of fact, it's not even the craziest deal with Jalen Brunson that he would make. The real masterclass came later. When Brunson was eligible for a supermax, he turned it down and signed an extension way under it. 4 years, around $156 million, specifically so the Knicks front office would have room to build. I said it when he gave the Knicks this discount, and I'll say it again now. This discount
most players will not do that,
the
bro.
reason why Jalen Brunson is the greatest New York Knick in NBA history.
He wants to
and
be
I
a champion,
said that
bro.
he would easily make up the deficit in
He's
the
different.
amount of endorsements and sponsorships he'd get from bringing a title to New York. And to Leon Rose's credit, what he did with that cap space was remarkable. Immediately, Rose went to work and he started bringing back some of his old clients. Karl Anthony Towns was Rose's client back at CAA. OG Anunoby was represented by Sam Rose, which is Leon's son. Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, all Villanova guys all wired together, although unfortunately Dante would get traded for Karl Anthony Towns. And Leon's swings got bigger and colder. To land Mikal Bridges, again, a guy who's never made an all-star team, Rose sent Brooklyn 5 first-round picks and a pick swap. That's a haul that people compared to the Rudy Gobert and Kevin Durant trades. Hell, it didn't even take that much to get Luka Doncic off of the Dallas Mavericks. The Knicks would grab OG Anunoby from Toronto for RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley without surrendering a single first. Then they'd hand him a 5-year, $212 million extension. They even tried to trade for Donovan Mitchell and missed, which in hindsight was pretty lucky if you think about it, because Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson fighting over the ball might have blown this entire thing up. But the gutsiest move came last summer when the New York Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau, days after he'd taken them to their first conference finals in 25 years. The man went 226 and 174 over 5 seasons, and the reward for that was getting fired. But it got even more embarrassing from that point. New York fired Tom Thibodeau because they had other head coaches in mind: Ime Udoka, Jason Kidd, Billy Donovan, Quinn Snyder, and Chris Finch, and none of them were interested in the Knicks job. So New York essentially went to their plan C, and that's Mike Brown, a coach Sacramento had just fired in the middle of the season at 13-18. On paper, this was a huge L for the New York Knicks, but if you looked closely, you could see why the Knicks did it. The bet was simple. Mike Brown could squeeze more out of basically the same roster by integrating the Golden State motion offense that he learned under Steve Kerr. All that passing and ball movement, plus being trusted to fix the stale, ISO-heavy, bench-phobic system that Tom Thibodeau ran for 5 years. And that philosophy showed up at the biggest stage in the NBA Finals against the Spurs. The strategy to beating the San Antonio Spurs is simple. Whenever Victor Wembanyama is in the paint on defense, it is impossible to score on him. But I warned you guys coming into this series what the New York Knicks playbook was going to be, and that's using Karl Anthony Towns at the top of the perimeter as the primary ball handler.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Cat was locking Wemby down, bro. Like, he gave him a run for his money, bro. That's a real champion.
Much putting him in a Nikola Jokic type role. By doing this, you drag Victor Wembanyama all the way to the perimeter and you depend on Karl Anthony Towns to find his open teammates, at which point it'll be impossible for Wemby to get blocks. Now you use that and you compound it with the New York Knicks suffocating defense, and this is the result you get. For the first 2 games, the best young player on the planet's team turned into one of the worst offenses you'll ever see on this stage. In Game 1, San Antonio put up 95. In Game 2, they put up 104. Both of those would have been dead last in the league over a full season. Their shot quality in Game 2, the looks they were able to get, was the worst of any team in a finals game since 2019. So the Knicks didn't just win games, they suffocated an offense. Victor Wembanyama got no help. Keldon Johnson's the reigning 6th man of the year, and he went 1 for 4 in Game 1 and 1 for 4 in Game 2. The bench that Mike Brown built his entire system around completely destroyed the bench that Tom Thibodeau didn't trust last year. Knicks fans screaming and clamoring for Tibbs to play his bench players were finally played in this series, which justified the firing that everybody was screaming about in the offseason. But I want to give credit where credit's due. Victor Wembanyama himself was unreal. He dropped 29 points in in Game 2, 22 of them after halftime, and he was the only reason that San Antonio was even breathing. But this is where being 22 years old in your first NBA Finals finally catches up with you. In the final minute, with the game on the line, Wemby missed a 17-footer, grabbed a rebound, and fired a fast break pass that bounced off the back of his own point guard. Stephon Castle was
like, what the hell are you thinking, bro? Like, why? Where's your IQ? What do you like? Come on, bro. Like, how do you do that in a big game, bro?
Wasn't even looking. It was straight into Jalen Brunson's hands. Then he fouled Brunson. Then he missed the last shot. Then he said this in the post-game interview.
I threw that one away. Am I going to regret it? Yes, of course. Am I going to use that to fuel me and to fuel us next game? Absolutely.
And the man on
clearly
the
didn't, though.
Game
You clearly didn't.
Perfect contrast for that. Jalen Brunson shot 7 for 25 that night, and he was doing that on a knee injury as well. He still tied the game late and iced the free throws. And that's the difference between these two players in the entire series. The Spurs clearly have the talent, but they didn't have the poise yet. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'd compare this NBA Finals to other NBA superstars that made it to the NBA Finals way too early. In my opinion, this is Victor Wembanyama's version of the 2007 Cleveland Cavaliers making it to the finals against the Spurs. Although he has a significantly better supporting cast, I think this is the last time playing Victor Wembanyama in a series will ever be this easy again. It took exactly one game. Game 3 was the first finals game at Madison Square Garden in 27 years, and Victor Wembanyama walked into that building and answered. 32 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 10 of them in the fourth quarter, and the Spurs won 115-111. That loss snapped a 13-game Knicks winning streak, their first loss in 46 days.
13-game winning streak is still very impressive. God damn.
In the first quarter with no call. The league admitted afterward that the refs
Dirty,
missed it,
bro.
and Jose Alvarado put the
bullshit. They ain't missed nothing, bro. It was clear as day, bro. Man, the refs was paid, bro. Hell no, you can't convince me otherwise, bro. That's bullshit.
Whole world on notice. He got away with that one, and that'll be the last one. Then Game 4 happened, and for one half, it looked like the entire series had flipped on its head. San Antonio hit 14 threes in the first half, the most in a half in finals history, and their 27-point halftime lead was the largest a road team has ever taken into the break in a finals game. Devin Vassell couldn't miss. Dylan Harper was carving up the Garden on his way to 21. The lead topped out at 29, and the building got so quiet that the loudest thing in it was the Wu-Tang Clan playing at halftime. Everything we just told you about strangling this offense looked like it was on fire. What happened next had never happened in the history of the NBA Finals. New York outscored San Antonio 58-30 in the second half. Brunson finished with 36. OG Anunoby poured in 33 on an absurd 7 of 9 from 3, and the final 2 minutes deserved the slow motion treatment. Brunson buries a 3 right over Victor Wembanyama, outstretched everything. 1-point game.
Bro, that shot reminded me of Melo, bro. Like, you're like Carmelo Anthony, bro. I'm like, is that Carmelo in disguise, bro? Like, bro, that was an amazing shot. I remember that live. That was crazy. Insane.
Wemby goes to the line and misses both free throws. Brunson answers with a driving bucket. The Knicks' first lead of the entire night with under 2 minutes to go. Stephon Castle, ice water for the second straight game, and a perfect 8 for 8 from the line puts San Antonio back up 1 with 30 seconds left. Brunson's 3 rims out, and OG Anunoby comes flying down the lane for the tip in with 1.2 seconds on the clock. San Antonio bobbles the inbound, never even gets a shot off, primarily because Karl Anthony Towns tipped in the pass and also got some help from the fans on the side.
Bro, I remember this.
Yo, score was 107-1.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, that's like low-key cheating, bro. I ain't gonna lie, if I was a Spurs fan, I would be pissed, bro.
6. The largest comeback in NBA Finals history. The old record was 24. The 2008 Celtics against the Lakers, and it just got beaten by 5. And the box score tells you how insane that night really was.
That was crazy.
The Knicks' biggest lead of the game was 1 point. It was the only lead that mattered. If you're keeping a crunch time ledger on this series, the pattern's impossible to ignore by now. Game 2 ended on a Wembanyama turnover. Game 4 ended on missed Wembanyama free throws and a fumbled inbounds pass. San Antonio hung with New York deep into the night after night, and the Knicks kept breaking them at the very end. Hold on to that thought because it's the key to everything I'm going to say about the Spurs' future, and we're going to have our own dedicated video on the San Antonio Spurs' future.
If you're seeing this,
oh my God, bro, Drewski, get out my screen, bro. I don't care, bro. Yo, big ass. God damn, cuz.
World Cup outcomes.
Oh my God, bro. Ads, bro. I wish ads never existed, bro.
Started.
Cause y'all know I can't stand it.
Even though the New York Knicks won this series, the San Antonio Spurs still have the scariest future in the entire NBA. Victor Wembanyama won Defensive Player of the Year this season at 22 years old. He and Stephon Castle won Rookie of the Year in back-to-back years. Dylan Harper is way ahead of schedule. This is a core that's barely able to drink legally. And here's the scariest part about the San Antonio Spurs. They own basically all of their own future first-round picks. They only gave up their 2027 first to Sacramento to land De'Aaron Fox, and they've got an extra from Atlanta on top of it. Add it all up.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. If y'all think Fox is getting traded, I think he is, bro. Buddy folded, bro.
And the Spurs have the most draft picks of any team in the NBA over the next 7 years. Yes, even more than the Oklahoma City Thunder. So do they currently have some problems? Sure, but it's the kind of problems that any general manager would trade their soul for. De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper are 3 high-level guards all fighting for minutes around Victor Wembanyama. And eventually somebody's going to be the odd man out. Around the league, executives think that Dylan Harper is too good to keep coming off the bench. And there are whispers that Fox's long-term future in San Antonio isn't guaranteed. The money's coming too. De'Aaron Fox's max kicks in next season, and Wemby's supermax is right behind it. But it's all on their terms, all built around stars on cheap rookie deals. So while the confetti's falling in New York, ask yourself one question. Who would you rather be for the next 10 years? Because the team that just lost the NBA Finals might be the safest bet in all of basketball. So there you have it. If you're a New York Knicks fan, I personally am really happy for you.
For real, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
Suffered more throughout
Shout out to New York.
New York Knicks fans. So I hope you guys enjoy the fact that you are 2026 NBA champions. Let me know what you guys think.
Y'all did that. Y'all New Yorkers, y'all did that.
Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Appreciate you, Mike. All right, y'all, that's it for the video, man. I'm gonna drop more videos like this. Y'all already know. Stay tuned. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all like. Make sure y'all comment. Make sure y'all share and show some love, man. For real. That's it, bro. I'm out, y'all. Peace.